to Divine Horses and Humans. I'm Jason J. Divine, a dyslexic horse guy, and here we are in the round pen in an anchor playlist. So, leftyitis. What's leftyitis, you say? Well, everything gets done on horses from the left, right? Because of a thing called tradition, a thing called the cavalry, the old school warrior carrying a sword. And what happens is the right hand side gets overlooked. Okay, so let's talk about left and right, dyslexic time. It is 8:15 on the 28th January 2025. Why do I do that? Because as I said, I mix my left and my right up. So this is my left, my watch hand, and this is my right. So being dyslexic, I have to think about which is my left and my right. It just doesn't automatically happen to me. So I will do things from the right hand side of horses, and then what I see is, especially with a lot of troubled horses, the trouble is on the left. So what you could do is see how she moves when I pick that stick up. So I need to change something. So I use a stick and a flag. So she's standing onto me, so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to rub her on the wither, and then I'm just going to take it away. So if you've got a troubled horse, and you can't catch them, right, you need to start to understand the sympathetic nervous system and cortisol. Run, stop, turn and assess, because that's what horses do. Right, so I'll come in here and I'll rub on here, right? So I'm going to lose that. So what I would do with a troubled horse is I would come in here with my hand going up and I'd rub them on the wither, and then I'd leave them alone. I'd come in here, rub them on the wither, and then I'll leave them alone. But what I'm going to do is, right, my energy's out there, it's not onto the horse, so I'm going to come round here, forward, forward, forward. Put my rope here so she gets used to the rope in her eyesight, and I'm going to come up here and rub. I'm going to come up here and rub. I'm going to come up here and rub. So I'm going to turn, energy's out there, because when you go like this, see how they move away? See that? Right, and now forward, forward, forward. Rope over arm, handbag position, and I'm going to come in here and rub. I'm going to come in here and rub. But when you do this, see, the reaction's less on the left. So, turn, come forward, forward, forward. So my right arm, I'm going to rub. But this side, oh no. See, we've got something going. She started to understand that I'm not going to beat on her. See, and Narenka being an ex-polo pony, that's right, you heard right, ex-polo pony, like 43 years old, played the game for nearly 20 years. She should be really good on the right-hand side because polo is a right-handed sport. So I'm just going to do that. And I'm just going to do this. And then I'm going to rub. Right, so another pointer, if you're going to work with troubled horses. Head collar. Get yourself a rope head collar and a 14-foot lead rope, right? And if you look, you see how this clears their eye. See that? Right? And the bridle will come down here and sit behind their eye. That causes problems. So what I'm going to do, because I want to find out where she is mentally, how free she is in the spine, I'm going to ask her to put her head down. So I'm going to breathe in through my nose, right, hold it, and then I'm going to exhale through my mouth. And that's really good practice for if you suffer with anxiety, panic attacks, even with depression, right? Get your breathing into check, because when you hold your breath, and humans are very good at holding their breath, your blood pressure rises and your heart rate rises, so you've just gone predatory. So breathe in, no, Nope. There we go. Nope, she's still pretty tight. So what I'm going to do, working from the right, I'm going to take this off. There, she's twisting. Take this off, and I'm going to let her move her own feet. Okay. Right. So if we let her move her own feet, that she's not, because she's fairly relaxed at the moment, but I'm going to so what you've got to remember, like the stick and the string or the stick and the flag is like, A, it's an extension of my arm. B, it's not there to beat on them. C, it's to take the territory, the ground they're on. And D, you don't want to use the stick and the string. You want them to work off of your thought process, your energy. Like, I just smooched to her and she got on, yeah? Right? So that's what you want, because in my world, I don't want to kick her in the belly, I don't want to stripe her on the arse, and I certainly don't want to have what I'm going to call is not an argument. They're a flight animal, and when things start going wrong, they want to leave. They want to move their feet, so bolt in, all of that. Right, so let's see. Right, so I haven't even had to use the stick, right? That's all verbal. Right, so we're pretty sort of low-headed, right? So what we're doing now, right, we are using the flight reaction, right? The sympathetic nervous system, cortisol. Narenka is a very right-brained sort of horse. She's very sceptical of human beings. She's had a lot of trouble with human beings in the past. And she's 42 years old, or 42 years young. And this nonsense of you can't teach old horses new tricks is nonsense, right? And the thing is that they get overexposed on the left-hand side because of tradition, and you know, you've got your sword here, yeah? Where polo, right, is a right-handed sport. Bosh, right? So they have to be fairly balanced up, right? In polo, they don't care if they get on the left or the right of the horse, right? It balances them up, right? But here in the British equine industry, no, it has to be done from the left because that's the way it's always been done and that's the way we're always going to do it since the year dot. So what it ends up, you get an unbalanced horse. So I'll go back here, cut her off and get her to turn. I don't care if she turns into the fence. And I'm going to probably have to support her, right? So that horse is in collection now. Right, she's got 4 corners under her, her back legs are underneath her, right? No need for her nose to be on the vertical because she's got a very, very short neck. But you can see the muscles right now. I'm just going to walk away, right? Because she's got off of that cortisol, right? Now, you see she's following, right? So now we've got something going on because we've got Monty Magic. See, when I'm just doing that, skeptical. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Now she stands over there. And because I was doing Monty Magic. See, because my body language has changed. You see how she's like, oh, I don't know what to do here. Right, because my body language has changed. And there's no need in being like a statue and going, shh. Doesn't help them. They need to get used to this. You'll change your body language, you'll change your thought process, you'll change your energy. So I lifted the stick, that's habit. So there she goes again. Once again, as I said, that horse has got 4 corners underneath her, right? And if you were to bend her in, you damage her spine. You damage her vertebrae in her spine. She's got too much of a short neck. And I think horses, you only want collection out of horses when you want to get something done. So if you're riding out, wherever you're riding out, you ain't got to put that horse into collection or bend them into shape. You just want them to walk. You just want them to go in the direction. They're your legs. Yeah, it's a partnership. So let's go over here. Let's ask for a change of direction. There's the change of direction. I don't care about her turning into the fence. Right, so I need to support her this side more, right? Because no, right, so I'm going to give her that. It's a pattern, but I don't care because I'm going to give it to her, right? But she's following me like I was not going to do what I did before because that comes a problem. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go to her with her and I'm going to rub there. And she stops moving and then I'm going to rub. And I'm going to stop and I'm going to rub. And then I'm going to take my stick and my string and I'm just going to be here. I'm going to be off over there just going, oh, what a lovely day. It's such a nice day in the moment. And now she's just literally touched me on the arm. So there's something going on here. Right, and then I'm going to come over here, go over there and go, oh, that fence looks really good, Jay. You could actually do with giving that a coat of paint. I'm not making it all about the horse. Oh, the yard needs a bit of a tidy up. It's a bit upside down, you know. I'm trying to be present in my own space, but what else I'm trying to do is like, you're all right. You're not going to die because you're with me. See? And you see this sensitivity. See, look, this. See how she jerks and that lean back. That is what you've got to be hugely aware of. When horses do that, something's coming. And that is, I'm fearful. I don't know what, so I'm going to get ready to go forward or left or right. Got that mixed up, didn't I? Yeah? But you've got to understand this. So by me keeping my distance and then she turns onto me, I'm just going to stop. Because there's a value to doing nothing. Right? I'm going to come up here and I'm going to rub. And then I'm going to come in here, left, because that's the right side, on the left side. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to rub. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to rub. So many people will go to the face, the head. Right, lots of problems. So if you go like that, yeah, they move away. Right? So what I do is I will turn that way, go like that, turn that way, go like that, go like that. My energy's always pointing that way. Then I come over here and I rub. And then I'll stop, and then I'll rub. Then I'll stop, and then I'll rub. And if I want to get to her face or her butt, I can start here and I can come up here. If she gets a little bit worried, I can retreat, same as that. So I come back here, she gets a bit worried, I retreat. Advance and retreat. Advance and retreat. Right? So, I'm working on the right hand side, so because I've got a rope halter, and I do everything for the left, I need the practice, but foremost, it balances the horse up. So if I come in here, and I go here, I've got my lead rope, lead collar, I go to here, I rub, then I come round, offering a noseband. She should help me out here a bit, but she's not because we're not that far along the line. And I'm going to do it up from the incorrect side. The side where all the traditionalists will go, oh, you're doing that wrong and all that. Well, you're living in the dark ages. That's why all your horses are all over the place, because you don't balance them up. Right, let's see what we got. There, that's a lot better. A lot better. There. So much better. So, you've got rid of your webbing halter because it does up for the left hand side and you've got a 4-foot lead rope that's no good to man or horse. So what we're going to do, we're just going to walk. Horses will follow you. There's no Monty magic about it, right? You call it join up, hook up, whatever, but horses will follow you. They will follow a feel, right? So if I go out that way and then I go back this way, right, she has to disengage. But if you've got a horse that's got real strong and you've had a tug of war with it, I'm going to call it, right, and they've learned how they can straighten themselves up and they can take off, you're going to have to get the hind end in check, yeah? You're going to have to get the hind end in check. So the horse stays on you all the time. So, as I said, sensitive horses, so lead rope over your arm like that, come up and rub, come up and rub, come up and rub. Don't look them in the eye, right? And then you drop your lead rope, change to your other arm, put it on your other arm, and then go there. But constantly looking out there. I'm not like this. Constantly, you've got to be in the moment. Hugely in the moment. That's what it's about, being in the moment. So, we've got a brolly out here. So the start of introducing a brolly, where would we go? Right, left arm, got the watch on, 8:35 on the 28th of June 2025. So, left arm, so I go in here and I rub. I just rub with it. And she looks at me. So we've got something going, haven't we? Right, she acknowledges it. So you just stop. So let's go to the other side. So now we're on the right side. And just rub. Just rub. What you've got to do with troubled horses is convince them you're not going to run them into trouble. And this is where I'm going to say it. Sympathetic nervous system, cortisol. Go Google it, because you need to learn how to use that. Right? And the more you can walk around with a horse following you, right, the more they will learn to accept things. So if you want them to accept an umbrella, you put it up and you just walk around with it. You don't just get straight on them, right? You want them to accept it. So if they follow it, they'll accept it a lot faster. A lot faster. So let's change direction and let's go past her with it. But I'm not making it about the umbrella. I'm not making it about you will accept this. I'm making it about the relationship. You can follow. And now it goes away. And I come in here. See that lean? That's when prey animal's about to turn up. Because that's the 2%. You always have to keep, there you go, you always have to keep 2% for the prey animal. You trust them 98%. So I said, you see how she moved there, yeah? When I rubbed her ear. Right, and then I just come back. And you just got, it's like grooming them, yeah? But the difference is when you groom them, you'll tie them off and you'll just stand there and they stand there like a shadow. Like a statue. So what inadvertently happens, and I've seen this, 25,000 hours working in the equine horse industry, right? Not with the hours that I've worked with our horses, right? They tie the horse off, then they do everything to the horse, not with the horse. And then what happens is, the horse starts to think, oh, do you know what? I'm in charge here. Do you know why that is? Because these silly humans always move around me. If you go and watch horses in a paddock, you've got YouTube, you can go and watch horses in herds, what you'll see is the horse that doesn't move its feet is the lead horse, right? And that's why there has to be a balance between moving your feet and not moving your feet. So I'm the herd leader, we're moving out, we're leaving. So you need to follow me, because we need to convince her, right, that we're not going to run her into trouble. Because when trouble turns up with troubled horses, with horses in general, right, what they will do is run. So they will run and they will run, and then they will get to a point where they stop running because the cortisol's gone, right? And they're producing serotonin that gives them a little bit more, oh right, we're not going to die. And then they produce dopamine and go, well, we're definitely not going to die. Let's have a look. Yeah, we're all right. We can hang out here. We can start eating grass again. So if you've got a horse that doesn't want to be caught, it's not a question that they don't want to be caught. It's the question of they're fearful. Whatever's happened to them before they got to you, right, something has happened. And someone, a human being, has been a predator towards them. Because, I said before, this whole thing of doing everything from the left-hand side, so old. And that's where you get unbalanced horses. And it's just like, we don't get anything going because everybody keeps doing the same thing. And this is why I'm here doing what I'm doing, because something needs to change. And the younger generation needs to understand it. So at that, I'm going to say, go Google sympathetic nervous system, go Google cortisol in humans and in horses, go learn about it, because there's a huge amount of advantage to be had if you understand it. So she's still a little bit fearful of that. So I'm going to come in here, my lead rope's on the right, and I'm just going to rub. See, it's a completely different thing here, isn't it? Look, completely different reaction. Because somewhere, probably somebody's got after her with a whip. Yeah, I'm not making excuses and going it's a pastoral, right? But her leg's cocked out. And I said, she sort of deals with it. And this is what you've got to do. Do something different to what everybody else is doing. If you keep doing the same thing, you're always going to get the same result. And the biggest thing in the British equine industry, horses suffer with leftitis. And when the prey animal turns up on the right side, they don't know what to do. And because they've got no foundation, they've got no groundwork. And that's why I call myself a horse guy, because I'm not a horseman, I'm about working with horses on the ground. Because there's a big hole, and there's a big hole in the British equine industry, because half these horses don't know what's going on the ground, because all they're concerned about is ride. Destination, not the journey. Relationship, compadre, friendship, leadership. That's why horses teach leadership, because you have to be empathetic towards them, you have to be patient towards them, and you have to allow them to be a part of the conversation. So at that, go Google sympathetic nervous system and cortisol. We'll catch you all next time.